It seemed like before that Miller Lite and Coors Lite and all these other beer brands that were similar to Bud Light had kind of learned that they just have to sit back, relax, and let the money roll in because Bud Light is destroying their brand. And of course, if nobody's buying Bud Light, then people are going to have to buy the surrounding beer in Miller Lite and Coors Light and the other ones who are similar. But we saw in this article right here, Miller Lite, Coors Light sales soar as Bud Light plummets. So we know that Miller Lite and Coors Light sales were going absolutely crazy because nobody could buy Bud Light because nobody wants to be seen dead walking out of the store with a box of Bud Light because you'll go viral on TikTok. People will make fun of you for drinking gay beer if you even touch Bud Light. So nobody wants to touch it. All this social pressure is very, very effective in telling people, don't buy Bud Light. Don't be seen walking out of the store with Bud Light because you will get made fun of. You will go viral on TikTok. It's just going to happen. So nobody wants to buy Bud Light, and Coors and Miller were profiting hugely off of that, as this article and many others have stated. This was back on April 22nd, but today a new commercial for Miller Lite has come out, and it proves that nope, they haven't learned their lesson. Or maybe, like my friend a common idiot says right here, getting a positive ESG score from our overlords is more profitable to them than sales. And that could very well be the case. I think it's honestly the only logical explanation at this point, because there's no way that Miller Lite and Coors Light and the others are as stupid as to just totally kill all of this positive momentum that they have gained simply off of Bud Light throwing their brand in the trash. They got so much positive buzz. They have so many sales going because simply Bud Light is just throwing their brand in the trash on purpose. And all they had to do was sit back, relax, and let the money roll in. And they can't even do that. They can't even do that. They have this pro-feminist, anti-men propaganda commercial that they just released. Myth Informed tweeted this out. It seems Miller Lite doesn't understand their audience either. Let's check this out, man.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer. That good
Basically, what I've learned so far is that men have extremely messed up the beer industry, and women have to come in and save it because men are incapable of doing anything in good faith, and women, of course, have to always come in and save the day. It's the same thing that's being portrayed in Hollywood. It's the same thing that's being portrayed in every single TV show, every single marketing campaign. These people are so stupid that they couldn't possibly just sit back, relax, and let the money roll in. They had to release their own propaganda commercial in this one. It blows my mind. It truly does blow my mind that these companies are this stupid. Or maybe, like I said, like a common idiot said down there, maybe their positive ESG score from our overlords is much more profitable to them than actually just not putting out stupid propaganda commercials that's going to tank their sales. It must be the case. It must be the case that Bud Light didn't care about putting Dylan Mulvaney on the cover of one of their beer cans because they knew that they were going to get negative backlash. They knew that people were going to boycott them. I don't think they thought it was going to be this effective and this many people joining in on the boycott and this much social pressure against buying Bud Light products. But I definitely think that they knew that they were going to get some negative backlash when it came to this, but I don't think they cared because of the ESG score stuff. I think that the ESG score just must be that beneficial to them. They don't care about making their fan base irate. They don't care about losing a ton of fans, a ton of consumers that they've built up over so long, over so many years. And it seems like Miller Lite doesn't care either. It seems like Miller Lite is much more into getting that ESG score up rather than keeping their fans and gaining all these new free Bud Light fans that are going over to them. It blows my mind, but it seems like the ESG score must just be much more beneficial to them.
It helps farmers grow quality hops,
which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite and they'll turn that into good too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
So Miller Lite couldn't just, like I said, couldn't just sit back, relax, and let the money roll in. They instead had to release their own propaganda commercial in a different way. I guess they couldn't let Bud Light leave them in the dust in terms of propaganda, so they had to just go out and make their own commercial. And my friend YetiCast here says, did beer companies all decide they hate money? It really does seem like that, or maybe, you know, once again, the ESG score stuff is just more important. But let's go back to this article right here. A couple of weeks ago, we had this come out. In the least shocking news of the day, Miller Lite and Coors Light sales have taken off like a rocket as Bud Light continues to get left on shelves across America. What do they say? Go woke, go broke. Yeah, that seems applicable here. And it's crazy because ever since this time, this was released on April 22nd, almost a month ago, 3 weeks ago, this came out. And Bud Light sales have been in decline, steep decline, ever since this came out. Ever since this article came out on April 22nd, the Bud Light sales have gotten much, much worse. And you know that by proxy, if Bud Light sales are going down, then Coors and Miller sales will have continued to go up. So what possessed them to possibly put out that commercial? I can't explain it to you. If you have an explanation, please leave it in the comments. The only thing that I can think of is the ESG score stuff. That's the only way. Mythinformed says all light beer ads must include a lesson on gender studies to improve their ESG score. This person says women were among the first to brew beer ever. Well, they are like half the people, so it's true. Like, it's how many of them were among those people who were the first to brew beer ever? That's like saying women were among the first people to breathe air ever. Yeah, of course they were around, they exist, so of course they were among the first. Like, come on, man. Quite frankly says bring back the bikinis. Weird ad campaign, but whatever. It is very weird, isn't it? And this is a great Photoshop picture, but it is really weird. Like, why? Like, I don't understand the compost stuff. I don't understand why you're turning your beer or whatever, the old bikini pictures into compost. I don't understand who came up with this. Like, what genius came up with this to not only tank your sales, absolutely, especially, you know, during this time period where literally all you have to do is release a can in red, white, and blue, and you're going to blow up. Your sales are going to go crazy because all people care about right now is a non-woke, a semi-patriotic brand. I mean, we all know that they've released some rainbow color flags and stuff like that in the past when it comes to Coors and Miller. But if Miller would have just came out instead of going this direction and just released a red, white, and blue can, you don't need to have an ad campaign saying you're all patriotic or anything. Just release red, white, and blue colored cans and you would have went absolutely crazy in the sales. But instead they release a commercial like this one to completely tank their sales. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. And not only are they losing out on tons and tons of money, but it's also just a really, really strange campaign. It's a really, really strange story that they told. Like, I totally understand. I've had this drilled into my head 1.5 million times that women have to come in and save the day for all the mess ups that men have done in society, even though men built literally the entire world. Every single piece of technology around you was invented by men. All the buildings around you were created by men, designed by men, and actually physically put up by men. But, you know, the women have to come in and save the day from all the evil men, the patriarchy in the world. I've been told that story 1 million times already, so I understand that part completely. What I don't understand is the compost part, the farming part of this. It's just really strange to me. But the person who's behind all this is Ilana Glazer, apparently, and, you know, I'm sure that they don't identify as a woman. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say that this person doesn't identify as a woman. So they also have Black Lives Matter in their bio. It's pretty easy to see why they did this. But let me know what you guys think about this new Miller Lite commercial, kind of joining Bud Light in their whole propaganda campaign. Let me know what you think about the entire thing. How do you think this is going to affect their sales as well? Let me know what you think in the comments.